I you ever get, your parents just say overtired. Oh, you're overtired, which is just parental boomer Marxist propaganda for we want to go and start smashing and drinking. We want you to go to bed. That's what overtired. Well, I've never heard that. Oh, don't feed them sugar. They'll get overtired. But you just get so exhausted because of bullshit and you don't have the energy to get angry anymore. And then it just becomes funny. I think I'm at that point. I went to the video game store and I said, "Oh, you got Expedition 33." Kid didn't know what I was talking about. Like, how do you work at this video game store and not know Expedition 33? I didn't say that. And he's trying to look it up. He's like, "How do you spell it?" And I'm like, "You don't know how to spell expedition?" Like, it's been one of those days, right? He wasn't a foreigner, he was an American. It has been one of those days, and I try to find out. I wanted to give due credit for somebody who sent this to me, this article, and I apologize. I thought maybe it was Reen, maybe it was Rush. I forget. One of the regulars out there gave it to me. My apologies for not remembering. And this is one of those things where I I'm already exhausted. All of it is bullshit. All of it. Although it's serious people. El Pais, which is the article that is the web newspaper that published it. El Pais is one of the larger mainstream media, biased to the left, of course, but it is a mainstream media publication in Spain. It's one of the main ones over there in Spain. The academic whose research is cited from Oxford, but it's garbage in, garbage out. All of it. Women's responses. I accuse you women of lying to make yourselves feel better. I think you're lying. You're lying like Carlson School of Graduate Majors graduates, Carlson School of Management graduates. When they ask how much are you making, they lie. You girls lied on the polls. The academic who did the research didn't lie. Is probably such a leftist or academically inculcated from the real world, actually thinks she's doing empirical research, but you had a narrative you wanted to support. Yeah, an outcome you wanted to support. Your methodology was probably wrong or flawed. If you want, just go look at Diverting Hate and the people who work at Peril. Dasha something moron, last name or other. You go look at your academics, right? And you're in the social sciences, right? Let's just admit academia is garbage. So you got garbage data, you got garbage incentive. You're not trying to find the truth. You have a narrative. You got garbage methodology, probably more garbage data coming in, and it's going to be garbage coming out. But everything is garbage. And I'm going to read this article. I'm not even going to bother doing the editorial. I'm just going to read it in its entirety. And you're going to be like, what the fuck? What? I don't understand. Because it's nonsensical. It's absolute. It's word barf. It's vomit. It's pablum. I'm reading through. What? I had to stop and read several. And then I realized, oh, wait. Am I actually giving any part of this process authenticity or credibility? Right? Just one. You could have the world's greatest methodology and the most intellectually honest academic. But if your data is wrong, the whole thing is wrong. And I'm just thinking all this is garbage. So the result is garbage that doesn't even make sense. It's nonsensical. But we're going to pull a diamond out of this pile of shit, boys and girls. And you know why? Because there's a lesson here. Okay, we're going to pull a lesson out of this, boys. Because there's a lesson here. Aaron, why not girls? Let me know when girls start becoming empirical. Seriously. You want to start making progress? You want to close the wage gap? This is bullshit. Stop listening to this bullshit. Words have meanings, but not when you randomly barf them out. From El Pais. The paradox of women's well-being. Why they report higher happiness despite worse mental health. I'm kind of curious. A scientific review explores their gender gap in life satisfaction and finds that despite socioeconomic advances in equality, women are experiencing more emotional distress compared to men. Wait, stop. I got a philosophical question. Look, if they're reporting being happier, right? That's all we got to go on, right? What does it matter then? Well, they suffer more emotional stress. So do they say they suffer more emotional stress? Or is this another leftist fucking academic paper? Oh my God, women still victims. You're missing you media people, academics, and general leftist politicians who have used men against, who've divided the sexes against each other. I don't and if you guys aren't tired, you're going to be tired at the end of me reading this. I don't think you understand how long the whining and complaining and this bullshit has been going on that men are now apathetic. They don't get angry anymore. I'm not even angry at the conclusion. I'm angry at the pablum. No one cares anymore. No one cares. You've cried, wolfed, and whined and complained. What does that person do? That person just whines and complains all the time. Do they ever take action into their own hand and hunt down the wolf or clean their own yard? No, they just whine and complain. How long they've been whining and complaining? 50 years. Or at least since I've been here. I don't know, maybe it was happening before my time. But they all just, this is the group of people that just whine and complain. Even though they say they're happy, they still whine and complain. Sounds like a them problem. Let's move on. Why would I hang out and listen to people whine and complain? And after a while, I got to ask, who are you whining and complaining to? No one's listening to you anymore. Guys are dropping out. I mean, out of society altogether. We don't care. We really don't care about women's happiness. On a philosophical, ethical level, yes, we would wish women would be happy. But in a functional, practical sense, we don't care anymore. We don't care. This isn't our problem. You're never happy. We don't care why you think that is or why you're happy. You just say you're happy, you're not, but you really are. We don't care anymore. There's coffee to drink. There's fish to fish. There's trails to hike. There's Nebraska to rub one out to. There's literally anything better than listening to whining, nagging, and complaining from women we're not even married to. It's like the scene. Do you guys remember Catch Me If You Can? Great movie where Tom Hanks, the FBI agent, catches up with Leonardo DiCaprio, Frank Abagnale again. He's like, "You're not going to get me," whatever his name is. He says, "We don't care. Look behind you. No one's chasing you anymore. Do what you want." Man, the male sex drive is pretty powerful, but I thought it was a bottomless well of interest and energy. You ran it dry. You ran it freaking dry. No one cares. They don't care. Maybe the Sims do. Maybe Democrats in as so far as they want to get your vote, but no one gives a shit about you anymore, ladies. No one. We don't wish you the worst. Absolutely not. We just don't care. You're going to find out the answer is you can't. Look at this. Each gender inequality that women face slowly chips away at their well-being. Shut up. Oh, yeah. It's proud. Yeah. Gradually undermining various aspects of their lives. They earn less because they try less and major in dumb shit and are more likely to experience unemployment because you major in dumb shit. Spend more time on housework and caregiving. That's a lie. And underrepresented in politics and leadership roles. That's true. And are at greater risk of, what did sexual harass mean or meant? Really? By whose definition? Okay, all right. Yeah, it's a leftist paper. All right, so already we're biased, right? In the media is garbage. The list of structural disadvantages is long, and it's hang on. I'm back in the Southern Command. I forgot about this. Lady at El Pais, you deserve this. So sick of this fucking whining. Each gender inequality that women face slowly chips away at their well-being. Some violinists are very cringed right now. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's higher. That's her tone. They earn less and are more likely to experience unemployment, spend more time on housework, on caregiving, are underrepresented in politics and leadership roles. They are at greater risk of harassment. The list of structural advantages are long, and its repercussions are far-reaching. These inequalities also impact women's health and well-being. Am I down to 2? No, there's 3. Oh, there should be a 4th one here. Where'd that go? The violinists are just like, oh my God. Scrolling down. According to scientific literature, there is another gap. Oh no, another gap. Oh, another gap. Whining, complain, bitch, and moan. Why can't I find a man? Marked by curious paradoxes that have left experts puzzled. It never ends. You reach apathy. It's just funny now. It's just funny. Scientific review published on Wednesday in Science Advances, which is probably bullshit, has precisely analyzed, listen to this idea, listen to this methodology, gender gaps in well-being, whether they exist and persist despite social progress, and has explored. Do you girls even know what you're progressing towards? Like, have any of you ever visited? And has explored a couple of contradictions within this field. The authors investigated, for instance, how is it possible for women to report higher levels of happiness while experiencing worse mental health outcomes? Because they lie. Or why, despite social and economic advancement for women in recent decades, if you call that advancement, the well-being levels compared to those of men have decreased. Not our problem. The researchers acknowledge significant variability between countries, noting that these apparent contradictions don't hold true everywhere. However, they confirm the existence of a gender gap in well-being. That's your problem, ladies. Catch up. The wage gap is your problem, and your whatever well-being gap is your problem. We're done slowing ourselves down for you. Catch up. Or should we become as miserable and poor as you? I mean, really, what's the difference? Are you trying to say the well-being gap is a cause of it's caused by men? Like the wage gap is caused by patriarchy, and like, oh, now you're sad and that's our fault. And for that reason, I'm out. Why are men going overseas? Attributing to a combination of biological factors, cultural influences, and differences in how well-being scales are applied. The bottom line, global evidence points to a decline in women's well-being, particularly in terms of emotional distress. The research focused on subjective well-being, which refers to how a person perceives and describes their quality of life. All right, so if they're lying about how happy they are they going to lie about how sad they are? Our study analyzes and explores gender disparities and well-being. There are 2 disconcerting contradictions that we aim to investigate. Why they exist, whether they persist in different countries, and what really drives them, says Casper Kaiser, a researcher at the University of Oxford and the study's author, in an email response. Regarding the first paradox, the gap between women's reported happiness and the health outcomes and emotional distress, the authors examined evidence on mental health and pain. They found that women systematically report worse mental health, including higher levels of depression, irritability, and anxiety. Going into debt for a joke of a degree and working 60 hours a week with a commute, and essentially being a man might do that to you. These disparities are observed globally across most of the world regions. Women feel much less safe at night and are more worried, sad, and depressed. These gaps are particularly consistent in Latin America and Western Europe, the authors note in the article. They further connect this gap in mental health to physical health outcomes, particularly in terms of increased susceptibility to pain. So if you're stressed out, you feel more physical pain? In whose world? Wait, really? Are we going to have fibromyalgia again? Is that the one where, oh my God, I can't work. I need money. I'm good at video games and drinking, but I can't work. Women are at greater risk of suffering from various chronic pain conditions compared to men. No, they're not. Really? Do I need to go grab a bunch of tradesmen who threw out their back? No, you're not. And they are also more sensitive to pain, according to this study. We haven't even gotten to the word vomit. Scientists attribute this gender gap in mental health to social norms and traditional gender roles. Women often face societal expectations that emphasize caregiving, emotional expressiveness, and compliance, leading to increased psychological distress. What about the physical pain? What happened to that? The study notes they also experience more stress from trying to balance domestic and work responsibilities. How do you know they suffer more stress than men? Another explanation is that cultural norms encourage boys to be competitive and emotionally restrained, where girls are taught to be empathetic and nurturing. Moreover, girls are more likely to internalize stressors, leading to higher instances of rumination, known as a predictor of depression. These social norms could contribute to higher rates of depression and related negative emotional states in women, the study adds. The authors also acknowledge the possibility that biological factors may contribute to this gap in mental health. For example, they suggest that women may experience higher rates of negative affect, emotional distress, and aversive moods such as guilt, nervousness, fear, and disgust due to greater fluctuation of reproductive hormones across their lifespan. Hang on. However, this gap in mental and physical health between men and women contrasts with reports of life satisfaction. The authors state that according to scientific literature, women consistently report higher levels of life satisfaction and happiness than men. That's why they all smile like permanent resting bitch face Brie Larson. Oh, I added that part. This pattern is common across many regions of the world, although they acknowledge it's not always consistent across studies. In fact, a recent study suggests that in Europe and the U.S., women are no longer more satisfied or happy. You don't even get. Wait, are you girls being honest now? It's the world's greatest show. It's not the show you wanted to see. I know you wanted to see white picket fence, hot wife with big boobs and 2.1 children, maybe a dog. But this is the only movie they're playing in the theater. It's a pretty damn good movie, particularly since the disease pandemic. The researchers attribute this first paradox to a mix of biological, cultural, and methodological factors. They note that hormonal fluctuations can influence the perception of well-being, but also that differing expectations for men and women, shaped by social norms, cultural values, and personal experiences, can affect how individuals report their well-being. For example, they point out that some studies show that despite having lower salaries and fewer promotions, women often report greater job satisfaction, likely because they have easier jobs. Oh, wait. Likely because they have lower initial expectations. Another explanation they propose is that differences between men and women interpreting and responding to surveys on well-being could lead to gender variation in answers. In the review, the scientists examined whether the evidence supports this paradox and found a diverse pattern across countries. This apparent contradiction was not always true. The research concludes that while a negative gap in emotional distress disadvantaging women is observed in all regions of the world, the positive gap in life evaluation favoring women has only been identified in the Middle East and North Africa, the Americas, and Asia. Isn't it like 80% of the globe you just listed there? Life satisfaction is not seen in Europe, the former Soviet Union, or sub-Saharan Africa. The gender well-being paradox is real but not universal, and the raw data is observed in 36% of the countries, covering 32% of the population, the article concludes. According to Kaiser, this diversity suggests that gender differences in well-being cannot be explained by a single universal theory. Well-being is determined by cultural, informal, social, and formal policies. Decline in women's well-being. How far are we? We are 2/3 through this, guys. Regarding the other contradiction revealed by the scientific literature, the decline in women's well-being despite improvements in equality over recent decades, the authors again observe varying patterns between countries, but ultimately conclude that women's well-being has indeed declined, particularly in terms of pain and emotional distress, as you arbitrarily created that. This means that even in countries where women have made significant economic problems, they still report feeling more overwhelmed and emotionally tense, says Kaiser. To explain this phenomenon, scientists, just say social guessers. So please stop calling the social sciences the scientists. It's not science. You're speculating. I mean, it's interesting, but you're not scientists. There's no calculus here. Hypothesize that women are likely not benefiting equally from economic and social progress. There it is. You get all the legs up in the world. You get parades, and you're still not selling. We don't care. We don't care. What was it? Rhinestone. What do women want? More. That's it. Psych Hacks had a great video. He's talking about how what women want is what other women want. Thus, it's always because of survival reasons. And is this the thing we're doing? Is this the popular thing? Because aberrant, deviant behavior would get you killed in the past. So there's safety in numbers, there's safety being in that tightly bound bell distribution curve. It's not irrational. But what women want constantly changes over time, whether it's poofy bangs or cold shoulders or whatever the latest, fashion thing is. That's a you. It's so a you. This is so we don't care. We don't care. It's for you to figure out, ladies. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. I would suggest you start by being intellectually honest. What do you want out of life? You want to be men? Go be men. I don't know. Like an F-15 fighter plane trying to be a cargo transport, but that's all right. I don't care. This is you. You fly your plane however you want. I have a question for the lady, right? Is this our responsibility? Is this something that society's got to do something about, or is this just an FYI? Because I don't care. It's not our responsibility. Improvements are not benefiting equally from economic and social progress. In fact, they suggest that improvements in areas like health or education tend to benefit men's well-being more than women's. So we just need more money. Surprise! The academic research and the magazine says we need more taxpayers' money. In European countries, greater gender equality in economic, political, education, and health dimensions does not necessarily lead to higher well-being for women compared to men. They point out, I want to know how happy Swedish women are. That's what I want to know. Or how happy they're, and then I want to know what their antidepressant use is like. Another possible explanation is what they referred to as the double burden, the fact that changes in women's social roles have increased their workload as they are now expected to balance domestic responsibilities with their anticipation labor market. In Europe, for instance, data indicate that in countries with greater gender equality and progressive norms, women report more frequent work-family conflicts, leading to reduced overall positive effect, the authors explain. Not our problem. We're going to have the chore argument that you girls now have to do, like you're single, right? Isn't everybody single now? Oh my God, he didn't do the dishes. Did he fix the car? He didn't do the dishes. All right, we're done with the chore. Dude, look at those chore research and data. It's like everything in the house. Anything outside the house, that didn't count. Everything in the house. What about him putting in that French drain by hand, digging that trench by hand and hauling 8 tons of rock? He sure didn't do those dishes the way I liked him to. What about how you installed a new transmission? That took the whole weekend. Boy, he sure didn't wash the laundry. Oh, garbage all over the place. Another explanation scientists are considering is a shift in women's expectations as opportunities. Oh, I already had that. The Oxford scientist, really PhD in physics, nuclear engineering. What's your scientific degree? Argues that the main conclusion of his research is that economic gender equality, for example, in education work alone does not guarantee greater well-being for women. Well, that's their problem. Government policymakers need to go beyond economic. The women aren't happy. Quick, assemble the powers of government and the taxpayer. Oh no, women report being happy, but they're on antidepressant use. And some arbitrary research suggests, doesn't prove, suggests they might not be happy and suffer a little bit of emotional distress. Quick, print off another $1 trillion. Why can't we afford housing? I can't imagine why, man. I just have to, God almighty. We don't care. Fuck off. Deal with this yourself. I don't go get some more sun, eat some more carrots. I don't give a shit. Policymakers, read the taxpayer, need to go beyond economic measures and focus on mental health and emotional well-being. At the same time, they should recognize that disparities in well-being vary across cultures, meaning that one-size-fits-all solutions are unlikely to be effective, he reflects. Kaiser also admits that many questions remain about the gender gap in well-being. Further research is needed to explore how men and women interpret well-being differently. No. Before I'd even do any research, I'd be wanting to make damn sure men and women are reporting well-being accurately. Because women would never lie about how happy they are in life, right? Because the Instagram pictures they post are all true. They don't go home and cry themselves to sleep after a night of partying because they're in debt and drunk and they don't have a man. That never happened. And they are pure and flawless individuals. They are God's perfect creatures. They would never post or lie anything on the internet or in polling. Oh, very, very full, very filled. Oh, whether self-reporting biases influence results. That's where I'd start, buddy. How informal gender norms shape well-being gaps across cultures, and whether women assess their well-being. Hey, I got a serious question. Are you just a communist, like always perpetuating the victim oppressor narrative? Is that what this is? You can level with me. Come on. Is that what it is? Dude, is it just like, oh, it's another Tuesday? Come up with some research as to why this group needs more, that group's money. Is that what this is? You could tell me. Come on, we're all part of the Frankfurt School here, right? uh, and whether women assess their well-being using different benchmarks than men in different countries. Judith Vall, a professor of economics at the University of Barcelona, says she is not surprised by the results showing a decline in some dimensions of female well-being despite advances in equality. There are many factors that explain this evolution, but one key factor is that we've identified gender biases in the labor market when women have children. Women are penalized more because they don't work as much when they have children because children take time. Oh, wait, I added that part. Women are penalized more because they experience a loss in salary and additionally because they're providing less labor. Guys, they really want their cake and eat it too. Thomas Sowell, greatest economist alive today. There are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. The kid, never mind. You're right. Aaron, you forgot the perfect mental state. Yes, you're right. You should have everything. If I don't go to the gym, I lose gains. If I don't go to work, I lose salary. Doesn't matter why I abstain from the gym or work. That's what happens. There are many factors. Why don't the world enslave themselves to us to finally make us happy? It wouldn't make them happy. It wouldn't. There'd be something new to be sad about. Bias, the risk of penalized more because they experience a loss of salary. And additionally, the risk of taking antidepressants increases after the first child. This does not happen with men, explains Vall, who was not involved in the study. We enter the labor market with aspirations, but we are still in charge of the children. That generates more. Well, then don't have kids. Or am I an economist talking about, dude, lady, don't you know about microeconomics decision? You're going to have a kid or you're going to have not a kid. You don't have the kid, focus on work. You got the kid, unfortunately, it takes some time. But you're right. Look, ladies, just say, we want government daycare. Right? Then we all pay taxes to raise your kid. Or is it that you want the same pay while you take a whole year off? What? Do men get a whole year? I mean, at least I guess someplace in Europe, isn't there like fraternal leave where everybody gets off? Why is Europe so poor? I mean, you're in Spain, right? Mañana vino bailar porque no dinero. Hang on. What is Spain's GDP and debt per capita? Spain, GDP per capita. Are these concepts you use over there in Spain economic world? 33,500. Okay. I think that's less than half the US. Spain, government debt to GDP. 101, that's it? No way. No way. You guys were one of the pigs long ago. There's no way it's that low, is it? There it is. 124 back in 2021. What happened? Did you guys spend less than you make? Look at this. It's coming down. I got to applaud them for that. Okay. I guess they're better than the United States. We enter layer. Yep, ladies, that sure sucks. Oh God, that's horrible. I got a thing. Here's the diamond. Women are never good. You're not. You're just not. We're done. We're done with this. It's not our responsibility. Go ahead, vote in more taxes and this and that, and we'll just walk away. We're going to work less. We're not going to have kids. We're just going to propose less. We're going to get facility. That's fine. Go ahead, do whatever you want. But We're done with worrying about women's happiness right now. If you want to elect someone, you get our taxes, sure, but we don't care because we can't. Because there's no way to make you happy. You got everything you wanted. There's equality and this and that. And oh, well, we report being happier, but we're not really happy. Which is, fuck it. You know what? We don't care. Because it's an impossible situation. There's no winning. Nothing will make you happy. Nothing. Nothing. And if nothing will make you happy, we're not fine. We might sacrifice the country's finances over it. We might sacrifice production and profitability and GDP growth. We might sacrifice the kid's child. But you know what, Meta? We're not sacrificing our mentality or our worry or concern. We are out the low. Look at my fields of fucks to give and see that it is barren. There are 0 fucks to give in the gas tank of fucks. We're done. We're done. I really, and even the Simps, I don't think the Simps never really cared. By the way, ladies, they go, I vote Democrat, Hillary, or whatever the leftist version in Spain is of Hillary. They don't really, they just are telling you that to get laid. But right now, whereas, I've always stood up for women going into STEM and majoring in the right thing, and I don't. Your mental health. Wait, what if we did this about men are sad and horny? Men's horniness isn't being satisfied. We need government policies to enslave women to go and satisfy men's sexual needs. Do you know women get fat after they get married? We need programs to teach women to stop being fat. Do you see how absurd this is? Your problem is your problem. Or your mental health, your happiness, or your happiness, but you're happy, but we report distress. That's your problem. Figure it out. We don't care anymore. We're done because we can't care. It doesn't make any sense. There's no solution. There's nothing tangible. There's nothing concrete. Good luck. Good luck. Hey, and above all else, ladies, you got this. You got this. You got this, girl. Girlfriend, you gonna slay queen? What is slay queen in Spain or Spanish? Slay queen translated to Spanish. No, okay, see, it's doing the vernacular. It says go and conquer. No, slay queen. Literally, what the matar a la reina. Matar a la reina. And then what is you got this? You got this. Translated into Spanish. Tú puedes? Yo lo tienes? It means you can do it. While is more about implying the person has what it takes or will. You got this. Tienes esto. Tienes esto, chica. Mujeres. Sí, verdad. Es muy fuerte y independencia. Chica, bonita. Vaya con Dios, whatever. Don't give a fuck anymore. How does one say in Spanish? Sounds like a you problem. Now, I am not one to give without resources. And I know that you women are confused. We can agree on that. You may not be as happy as you'd like to be. Super happy. Why don't you go drive in a Nissan commercial? Link below, I have a course, not a course, a book called The Menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. This is not to imply that you don't have someone in your life or that you are not going to have this. That's not the whole point. The whole point of The Menu is a list of things that you can pursue in life that will give you purpose and meaning and joy outside the opposite sex, because at least here in the United States, half the people aren't going to be getting married. I think it is still a good resource, both for men and women, to consult that book. I got a copy right here. Even the hardcover, because I wanted it to be like a fancy menu. It's even the size of one of them big Chez Louis menus. See, it's thin. It's very nice. I like it. I'm proud of it. So there's a menu for both men and women, because men and women are different. And ladies, I suggest there's a lot of things in that menu that might bring you happiness and joy. The other resource I want to use, because I'm not an expert on women's happiness, you'll find a link below to Oprah's latest book. Oprah Winfrey, she knows everything about women, and she has led tens of millions, maybe even billions of women to happiness and joy and full life. This is from 2023, relatively recent. Build the Life You Want: The Art and Science of Getting Happier by Arthur C. Brooks and Oprah Winfrey. Build the life you want: the art and science of getting happier. See, this is a book about getting happier. It was written by Oprah, so you know it's true and it's going to work because she has led so many women in the past to happiness and joy. As for you guys, dude, I know I think I'm just kind of done with this. I really don't have it's comical now. It's hilarious. I just saw you sad about that. Oh, what are you whining and complaining about today, person I'm not married to? What are you nagging the tax? See, like guys aren't getting married, so what, you gonna go nag the taxpayer? You're gonna nag society? Dre, $2. Women are so unhappy. Lesbian couples have the most DV. I don't know if they see, are they or aren't they? They say they're happy. I gotta take your girls that or call you a liar, right? You don't want me to call you a liar because that would hurt your feelings. Well, you girls are happy. Good for you. Go be happy. Well, my concern is for the children. Well, go concern yourself with them. I'm glad you girls are happy. Stop whining about it. YouTube viewer, $5. I think women are almost happy. A tiny bit of additional men's tax dollars will push them over the threshold of happy. Let's try it. Yeah, it's like plutonium. If you're one atom short, you won't get a critical mass. We just need a little bit more money. We're at 38% GDP of everyone's money goes to the government. If we could just boost that above 40%, then women will finally be happy. See, I gave her $3,273. It would be the $3,274 that'll actually make her happy. 73, miserable. The one extra dollar, happy. Oh, ladies, please provide me more entertainment below what you finally want. Please tell us what you want below in the comments. Please tell us what will finally make you happy in the comments. I hope they do. I hope they do. Dre, too, and not like, and ladies, not happy for 5 seconds. I mean, to the point you shut the fuck up. That you are actually happy for the rest of your life. I would love to see that painted for me. Like, what would it take so we never have to hear an article or research or whining or complaining ever again? Dre, $2. The only thing worse than hate is apathy. Oh yeah, men are out. And I don't think it's the same thing with video games and movie. I'm not going to go like Furiosa, which was a really good movie. I was completely apathetic. Oh my god, another girl boss movie, and I only went to it because my friends went to it. I'm like, wow, this is a really great movie. It should have deserved to make a profit, and it wasn't girl boss. It was just very good. Flying Falcon, $5. What do you think it'll take to get them to drop this stupidity? I don't think it's stupidity. I think they were lied to that they're supposed to be in this perpetual state of happiness. I think men are lied about that too. I think they've been promised the world by leftist, socialist teachers, the media, government, corporations, and men indulge them in it because you guys just want to fuck them. So, oh yeah, I vote Democrat. Oh yeah, I'm all for free abortion and I think they were lied to. I think they say they're happy because they're attaining what they said they should want to attain. You know, you ask some young poor kid like, "Hey, what should you want?" And he says, "A Hellcat will make me happy." And then they finance it 27%. Yeah, I'm sure they think they're happy because they got the Hellcat, but they're miserable financially. But you know whose problem it is? It's the dumb kid who bought the Hellcat. And you know whose problem is? It's the ladies who, you made your life choices. For better or worse, it's not our problem. If you're happy, it's not our problem. If you're sad, it's not our problem. Go concern yourself with them. And I don't think it'll ever stop because there's too many people invested in lying to women. Colleges and universities, corporations need cheap labor. Oh, corporations need you girls to spend money on on fucking handbags. $50,000 handbags. Gee, I don't know why you girls are I can't say are unhappy because you claim to be happy and then you lie. What additional rights and affirmative action do you want? What do they want? They want more. That's it. Rhinestone said it best. What do women want? They want more. I roll, therefore I am too Canadian to fund Cappy's violins. Wasn't that bad? The quiet one, $5. I've never heard such a good woman voice from a man. It's uncanny. I don't know which one I was doing. There is tremendous opportunity for women to get the guy they want if they just learn a couple key things, which aside from being in physical shape and pretty, if you don't complain and just take care of problems, oh my God, you're going to have a happy man. Unless he's unhappy for reasons of his own doing. Stevie Mo. Kind of a cool name. $5. He just says, hi, hello, Stevie Mo. YouTube viewer, $2. Is there anything that isn't men's fault? No. No. In the United States, men could be accused of the same thing. In the West, nothing is your fault. Millennials, right? Men and women. And Gen X, right? Because they own more student loan debt than the millennials do. I see just as many men complaining, I was lied to. It was not fair. It's still your fault, buddy. You signed for it. Everybody in it's not my fault I'm living in Section 8 housing and in a drug-ridden neighborhood. It's whatever. The white man's fault, Trump's fault, the corporation's fault, the Jews' fault. Everybody's got something to blame. That's not a female. That's not relegated to women. Everybody's got that. But because I've talked about this in, what was it? A World Without Men. Because the sexes are binary, there's two. Something bothering women, the only other people to blame, like if something affects an entire gender, then it's got to be in their eyes the other gender, right? If something's happening to left-handed people, then by God, it's got to be those son of a bitch right-handed people. Which is also why every failure in my life has been caused by the blue-eyed people. Because those assholes, am I right? Those blue-eyed motherfuckers, those are the ones. See, if I had blue eyes, I'd have peen touched all the time. Flying Falcon, 666. Was that the golden fiddle? As the golden fiddle, sure. I don't get the cultural reference, but we could call that the golden fiddle. Grade, $2. Ladies say no until there's no one left to tell. You're not wrong. I will say this, one other reason, though it's not one of the main reasons for a wage or performance gap, financial success, guys will take risks. Guys will find a way to say yes. Women they're very risk averse. They're very conservative. It's like you can, in dating and finances, I don't know if I can major in engineering. It's got a lot of math. Why don't you try? Oh, no, I'll be an early childhood education major. Enjoy being poor. Yeah, you know whose problem it is? They reject everyone. It's their problem. See, a lot of you guys are like, I understand women are half the population, the part of society. Some of them are friends of ours or loved ones, or we'd like to form relationships with them. And what hurts them also does hurt us. I get that. But at the same time, it really helps to say, but that sounds like a them problem. Because it is their problem. Yeah, oh, well, our women aren't happy and they're miserable and it lessens the dating pool. Yes, you're right. Sure, kind of that's our problem too. But in the grand scheme of things, well, that's their problem. They're miserable and not happy. Yeah, I know we don't get dates or the wives are, but it's their problem. And just at least get rid of the concern and the calories of energy we get worked up about this stuff. Sam Whiskey, most American name in America, $5. Cappy, most women are not happy unless they got someone to boss around. That's where my limit of understanding, and even if they have someone to boss around, they're not happy. And of course, all women, Bell distribution. There's women who'd be happy to have someone bossing around. There's women who'd be miserable. There are timid women. There are bossy women. I've seen successful relationships where it's the woman who wears the pants of the family, and the man, he's not so much a soy boy Democrat beta, but he kind of lets the gal lead. All right, it works. I've not seen, I'll say this, the happiest I've seen women is where there's a good-looking guy who is an alpha male, maybe not dominant, but an alpha male. She lets him lead. He's charming, spanks her in the ass, saw it in dance class a lot, and they're just happy to be with the guy. But the guy's a pretty cool guy. I mean, there's Mr. Martinez. I remember him and his wife. He's a cool guy. You just saw like, yep, yep. YouTube viewer, $5. Now all women want nose rings, herd mentality, nose rings like cattle, effing. Who's here? Perfect example. Whose problem is that? They actually think the nose ring and the tattoos is going to make them happy. It might give them a dopamine hit for 10 seconds, but that's it. And that's their problem. Ladies, it's not our problem you decide to mutilate your body and lessen your chances of finding an attractive man. That's your problem. Yes, kind of is our problem as well that the dateable percentage of women goes down, but it's you. The action's on you. Tennis ball's in your side of the court. You know, and the healthy reaction for men would be to be, I guess they pierced their nose. Oh, well. Oh, no. Anyway, that should be the reaction. Space Cowboy, $10. They do whatever they want when they want. Trying to understand it will make you go crazy. At the end of the day, women will be okay. Why worry about it when some other guy in the government will? Right, exactly. I mean, okay, women aren't starving. If anything, did CNN come out with an article? Is this fat woman complaining about EBT getting cut off? No one's going to starve. They're not going to die. And look, and ladies, you know what? Maybe you need to go on your own little hero's journey. Maybe you'll get to figure this out. Yeah, but guys, we don't have time and energy for this. This really isn't. We can say this. We wish you the best. We wish you the best. We're out of here. Why worry about it when some other guy in the government will? Space Cowboy, 10 generous dollars. Aaron, if you ever write another book that involves women, you should have a chapter titled "The Quest for What's Beyond More" in big bold letters. Nothing should take up the entire page. I would have to be incredibly creative and put a lot of thought into what's beyond more, because there isn't anything beyond more. There is no more. Right now, more is bad. I'm such a minimalist. Like, I don't want things in my house, right? I mean, look at all that's up. I don't need any more. I don't want more. If anything, I want to get rid of a couple items. I don't understand. There's no, I mean, unless it was purely Operation Evil, and then you have to write ethereal, postmodern, not based in reality bullshit. Or you do what feminists and women have already done, and that is turn their entire value system inward with self-love and the meaning of you and mysticism and magic. And oh, if you say a seance and you pray to the great woman god, dude, I want to write a Western. I got a really good idea for a Western. That's what I want to write. In big bold letters, nothing should take up the entire page. YouTube viewer, $2. Look up "No More F's to Give," Thomas Benjamin song. Johnny Vegas, $5. So if the artificial womb comes to market, then I think there's really no excuse after that in terms of women saying children are a hindrance. Okay, whether there's an artificial womb or not, you can find a surrogate. I know it's expensive and all that. And if you guys want to go have kids with a surrogate. Go do it. I'm not getting in your way. And yeah, I would say it is easier in terms of labor, not necessarily headache. That if you just want a kid, it's probably easier to go IVF surrogate than it is to date, court, marry, risk a divorce, like all that math and time and money added up. It's probably just easier and quicker with the surrogate contract. Be done with it. But kids do need their mothers, so that's not my decision to make. Sam Whiskey, $5. Unhappiness is a journey to more unhappiness. It's almost orgasmic for most women. If they get a kick out of it, that's them. You know whose problem that is? A them problem. There's an excerpt I got. It's on my video channel, not the live. I mean, the same channel, but the video is not live. Look up "Why are white women so miserable?" You got this, you got that, you can murder your babies in 37 of 50 states. Why are you miserable? You got most of everything you want. Space Cowboy, $5. I was lied to. Drop out of college and picked up a trade. It all worked out. Right. I'm not saying we're all going to bet 1,000 and bad things aren't going to happen. We're not going to be miserable at times. But my God, just I've never seen people get so much of what they want and then say, "Oh no, I'm happy. We're so happy without you. We were happy, okay, but we're still miserable. Fuck you." That's crazy, man. Good luck with that mental disorder you got being happy and miserable at the same time. I'm glad I'm not you. Flying Falcon, $2. The Golden Fiddle is from Futurama, a robot devil. Okay, I'll have to watch that. So it is culture. Futurama is actually quite cultured. Very cultured. Snow. Gift, what makes a man neutral? Nonstop Dre, $2. Women are not to be pleased. Coach Greg Adams. Boy, he's not wrong. Stevie Mo, $5. First grandkid on the way. What do you think the future culture would look like? Is there any hope? Train them well. Make sure they got a good skill. If you really want to, I'd go find a piece of property overseas that is a little bit safe. I hate to say it, it does matter if he's white. If is he a boy or a girl? Like, is there any disadvantage that they're going to have? Not disadvantage. Is there going to be a preferred disadvantage group the child will be born into? Still train them the same way. But yeah, that's why I didn't have kids, among many other reasons. I don't think there is a future. Like, my kids aren't just going to be a host to a bunch of other people's parasite kids, because I teach my kid to work. Teach them to carpentry, build their own house, that kind of thing. All right, there you go. The Menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. And ladies, that book will finally make you happy. Oprah's latest book will finally make you happy. I have that link below too. That's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.